Hi, and thank you for joining me for this September Your Creative Studio Vintage Stationery unboxing. I have not seen any of the unboxings before of these items, so I was very excited to dive into this beautiful box. This is a thank you note that Amanda always sends. They're so cute. And I love the way she curates these boxes. This is a sticker sheet. They always create a sticker sheet. So you see, this is the theme of this box seems to be Alice in Wonderland, but kind of Victorian style. So all of the items are very cohesive. I love the theme of this box, and it's very full. And I must say, so far I've loved all the boxes I've received from them. This is my, I want to say fourth. I'm not totally sure. It might be my fourth. So I will obviously link these boxes below where you can get one of these boxes yourself. They are monthly and they're always vintage themed. And Amanda always takes great care into putting these together. I'm really enjoying these. And I must say, this is the first subscription box, I've tried a few, that I don't get bored with because the items are so versatile. And she always selects such really fun goodies that so far I have not gotten bored with it. So I'm always happy and excited to receive one of her boxes. And unfortunately, since I am all the way in Europe, they take a long time to get to me, which is why I always can only show the unboxing at the end of the month. So I apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do about that. So enjoy looking at the rest of these items. There's not much I can tell you about them because there's no description that comes with them. So whatever you see is what I see. And I will see you back at minute 9:05 to start the journaling using some of these goodies, which I always love doing. It's such a cool challenge to see how I can use these items. So see you at 9:05.
Tell me something, 'cause I don't know how this gonna end. Oh no. Tell me something, 'cause I don't wanna be just friends. No, no. Yeah. Hear me out, like I make you do the craziest things. Yeah. I didn't selfish needs. Let's let your words agree with how your actions speak. I'm here to talk, not trying to preach. So come and take a walk in peace. There's all the freedom you need. And go spread your love for the people's greater needs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't let yourself get lost in all that grief. Oh, no.
Okay, I'm back and I'm starting with checking my prompt list in Allison's journal. I've printed out the Ultimate Autumn Prompts 2019 list, which is from Demi and myself, and I'm choosing prompt number 8. You can find this list linked below if you want to join us in using these prompts in your own journals. They're a lot of fun, and if you're stuck for inspiration on what to do, just use one of the prompts. And the one I'm using is Autumn Bucket List. So that is the page I'm going to create in my journal, which is the no sew journal, meaning my signatures are not sewn in. If you're interested in watching how I made this journal, I will link this one, or I think a similar one below with the same technique. I don't even remember now if I actually made one for this journal, because it was made in the same style that I've already made one. In any case, getting back to the page, so I started off by inking up the edges of this beautiful paper, and I've just glued it down, and I had the perfect size. And on the bottom, I am putting this envelope, which came in a Happy Mail a few months ago, and I've been hoarding because I love it so much. It's got this wonderful embossing on both sides, and I totally make a huge mistake because I glued down the whole thing, which I didn't want to. I wanted to use it as a pocket as well, so I only wanted to glue 3 sides. So what I did was I was able to take it off again, thankfully, and I just dried the glue with my heat gun, and I put some wax from a white candle stump on it, so I would just want to make sure that it really wouldn't stick. So after doing that, I then re-glued it, this time the way I wanted it, so on the 3 sides, so this way it forms a pocket where I can put something in on the top as well as this side, because it's a coin envelope, obviously. So now I took a piece of scrap tea dyed, or actually coffee dyed paper, and I just rounded the edges. I'm going to link this corner rounder below. It's from AliExpress, and I'm going to write about how to make a bucket list, because maybe not everyone knows how to do it, and I looked it up because I thought maybe there's some tips online, and I found a really cool website which I'm going to link below, which has some tips, and I'm going to be writing 5 points on my list. But first I wanted to decorate it a little bit, so I wanted to use one of these 2 stickers, and I had a hard time making up my mind, but in the end I go for this typewriter because I think it's really cool. But they are a little bit glossy, and I don't really like using glossy stickers. So what I usually do, and this is a good tip for you if you have the same issue that I do, first of all, I always get rid of the wide white edge because I don't like that. So I just cut around that, and now I'm using a very fine sandpaper, and I'm very, very lightly going over it. And you'll see a close-up in a moment. It's going to look totally beat up, which is the grungy look I wanted to go for, but it's going to look a lot better once I ink it up. So now you see it's taking away some of the shine, and now I'm just going all over it with my distressed ink, and once it's on the paper you'll see how that looks. There you go, and look how wonderfully grungy that is. Now I really love it, and now it fits to the style of the page I'm working on. So now I'm just drawing some guidelines for my writing, and I'm not going to do calligraphy this time. I'm just going to write with my regular horrible handwriting. But I at least wanted it to be kind of straight because mine just kind of tend to be wonky if I don't do that. So how to make a bucket list. And by the way, for those that don't have English as their first language, maybe you don't even know what a bucket list is. So a bucket list is a list of things you want to do before you die. And now we're talking about an autumn bucket list. So that means things you want to do in autumn, basically. So the 5 points, and they're explained in much more detail on this website that I have linked, is you have to name your bucket list. So we'll be doing that on my actual bucket list. Find a place to store your bucket list, which will be in this coin envelope. Pick the length of your bucket list, which will be as long as the little paper I'm going to use for it. Find ideas. I've already done some brainstorming on that, and create the list, which I will do in a moment. So now I'm choosing a second sticker from that set, and because I had some space on the bottom and I didn't want to just leave it empty, and I didn't want to cut it down because I wanted it to fill up the page, the page of my journal. So I'm going through the same process of grunging it up, and then I'm going to stick that in the middle on the bottom. And I believe I'm going to give you a close-up of that. Yeah, there you go. I love how they look after this process, honestly. They're so cool now. So I'm sticking that into this envelope, and then I'm actually going to write my bucket list on one of these adorable little papers. But I didn't want it to be so stark white, so I thought I'd give it a very quick spray with my coffee dye, which is just a very cheap instant coffee diluted with water. I don't have any measurements. I just kind of do it very randomly. So now I just sprayed that and made sure everything is covered front and back, putting it on a paper towel and hitting it with my heat gun because I have no patience. So there, that's what it looks like after it's dried. I love how yummy the coffee looks on it. I just love that look. And now I'm actually going to write the list. So my list is called just the Autumn 2019 Bucket List. I know it's not very creative, but it serves its point, its purpose. So the first one was go on a short fall trip with my best friends. And unfortunately, I already know this is not going to work. It's probably going to turn into a winter trip. So fingers crossed that will work. I wanted to do a YouTube giveaway, probably before end of October, I'm guessing, hoping. We'll see. Make at least 10 journals to sell at my local bookstore. So fingers crossed I can do that. I think I have about 4 done by now. And the last one was get at least 6 more assignments done for my calligraphy course, which would take me to course number 32. So we'll see. At the moment I'm at 26. Let's see if that will work. I really hope so. And now to be able to pull it out easier out of this coin envelope, I thought I would just add a tab that I have pre-punched with my tab punch, which is also linked below. And I wanted to stamp on it the word list, and I'm using this incredibly huge rolling stamp that I will also link below, and I'm just writing the word list, and I'm always testing it out before to make sure that my letters are aligned. And here I'm just checking it, looking good, using some, what is it, coffee truffle or something? Espresso truffle, I think, is the name of the Memento stamp pad. And there we go, stamped it on the tab. It's not very centered, but it's totally fine. I'm not gonna obsess about that. So now I'm just gluing it on the side. And there's my list. I'm very happy with how that turned out. I'm going to stick that back in there. And that's my page number 1. And now I'm going to do a second page in Allison's journal. I will link Allison's Instagram below as well in case you enjoy her journals and would like to purchase one as well. I'm obsessed with her journals, especially the door journals that I'll be working in. So here I'm just showing you, I'm going to use a book page from this book where I took the insides out and made this journal out of it. So I'm just giving you a sneak peek. This journal is going to go into my local bookstore. Hopefully will be sold. It's Les Miserables. And so I'm carefully tearing one of those pages out. They are French. And I'm going to make a very, very simple pocket. And I did see this online and I was trying to find it so I could link it and give credit, but I couldn't find it anymore and it really bums me out. So I really apologize. Yeah. You know that I do link when I can. So sorry I couldn't this time. But basically it's a very quick video. It was like 2 minutes only and she was showing how to fold this. So now I just inked up the edges and now I'm going to glue these together. And so as you can see, it has 2 pockets and I'm going to use the right side as a pocket as well. Now I'm going to use this very thin washi to accentuate the pocket edges just a little bit more. These very thin washi strips are great for things like that, for borders and stuff like that. So there you see how it looks like. I really love that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom pocket. And the reason why I wanted to make a book pocket page is because I got these very cute little bird tags and I wanted a place to display some of them. So that's why I wanted to make this pocket thing, because I thought they would look cute in there. And for embellishing the pocket, I'm going to use one of these cute little bird stickers that were in the kit. And I also did want to mention that if you're interested in more ways to make pockets for your journals, book page pockets or magazine pockets, one person you need to check out is Joey Defy. If you don't know her already, for me she's the queen of pockets. So yeah, like how that bird looks there, and I also wanted to decorate that other part somehow, but I thought these stickers were a bit too small. So instead, I remembered that I had this washi roll that was in the kit, and it has these images which you can easily fussy cut. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna check which one I actually want on there, and I decide to go for this deck of, or actually it's only 2 cards. Really like how they look, so I'm just gonna cut around those, and I'm also going to try to ink that up a little bit. It's a bit difficult with these washies, but it's okay. I was able to grunge it up just a little bit. I'm gonna stick that there, and that's all I'm gonna do as for decorating for this pocket. And now I'm taking Allison's journal and I'm going to try to find a small page where I can add these. I'm starting to be reluctant to work in this journal because I don't want to fill it up. I don't want it to be full because then I don't know what to do. I'm so in love with this journal. Yeah, we'll see. I need to find a solution. So, and this is the little page I decided to go for, and I really think it's very cute on this little page. So I'm gonna stick it down by just gluing 3 sides, making sure I'm gluing the right side. There's been plenty of times where I have glued the wrong side, and I hope I'm not the only one that does that. Okay, now I'm gonna choose some of those lovely tags that were in the kit, and I wanted to choose some that were fall themed since we are at the end of September. So I am taking some out that have this fall feeling to them, and I also wanted to use one of those cardstock ones. So I wanted to narrow it down to 3 because I have 3 pockets. So I had to get rid of 2 of the lighter ones. It was a really tough decision. I like them all. They're so cute. Okay, so of course I'm going to ink those up. And after I've done that with all 3 of them, I have to decide in which order they should go in the pockets. And I could have just played around all afternoon with those, changing them up and seeing what works best. Do you do that sometimes? I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to play with ephemera. And as a final touch, I wanted to add a phrase from a book. So I've pre-cut out some book phrases. I got this idea from Natasha from Treasure Books. She has a video on that, and I love the idea. And so I chose this one that says, what does it say? A noise was coming from the maple tree. And I thought that worked really well with these birds and the trees. So I tried to find a good spot where I could put that. There wasn't a whole lot of space left on the page. So I decided to just put it over those holes on the right. And in order not to glue it together with the page underneath, I just put my paper underneath to make sure that that wouldn't happen. And I'm just gonna glue that down. And that's the page. Very happy with that, with both pages actually. So I hope you enjoyed this, hope you had fun. Go check them out. These are very, very fun subscription boxes. So hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.